with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a power outage impacting thousands of homes this morning. According to emergency responders, a brazen copper thief cut a hydro line. Daryl Newcomb reports.
A severed hydro line dangles beneath the bridge on Adelaide at Ada Street after a failed attempt to steal copper early Friday morning. Power was cut to 5,000 London Hydro customers in Glencairn, Highland, and around Hamilton Road.
I heard a bloop kind of sound. It was a weird sound.
According to London Hydro, someone attempted to cut a 10.5 centimeter feeder line with a saw, striking the live wire and sparking a fire.
This was significant enough for our fire department to respond with the hazmat unit. So because of the incident, we had a specialized team that respond to that. And that puts not only members of the public at risk, but also our firefighters.
Here on top of the bridge, you can still smell the electrical fire and even see evidence here on this concrete of the electrical fireball. No one was found in the area, so the condition of the person responsible remains unknown.
I can't even describe to you how dangerous this is. 27,000 volts is not something to mess around with. Our homes have about 120 volts, so it gives you a sense of how much higher the potential of impact was for this person.
Power has been restored, but the complex repair to the feeder line will take considerable time and money. It's the latest incident in a troubling trend.
We've seen the number of incidents of people looking to get into our infrastructure really increase. We're projecting about $1 million of damage this year from situations like this and vandalism like this.
We are actively investigating. We've been actively involved with London Hydro and the City of London with this ongoing issue of copper thefts. It's well known that copper theft stands as a source of income for certain members of our community.
City Hall previously tightened up its bylaw that regulates scrap metal recyclers, but the mayor says there needs to be consistent rules across the region and province to eliminate the black market.
The next phase in this is to work with our regional partners to ensure that we're working together as municipalities because these materials could be stolen here but sold elsewhere.
People in our community are aware of who are committing these thefts, and we urge anyone to come forward that may be able to help solve this. As everyone's reiterated, it presents a very serious safety concern.
London police urge anyone who sees someone tampering with hydro equipment to immediately call 911. Anyone with information about this investigation should call the non-emergency line. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Postal workers across the country are back on the picket lines. This was outside the Canada Post Distribution Centre in London. About 100 local unionized postal workers went on strike just hours after Ottawa announced door-to-door mail delivery would end for nearly all Canadian households within the next decade. Today, union leaders say the post office as an institution is under attack. With more on their full-scale job action, here's Rachel Aiello.
Thousands of postal workers are on strike. The trigger for the shutdown? Sweeping changes the federal government is forcing, including ending door-to-door delivery in an effort to save a struggling Canada Post.
We're striking to keep good service and to keep good jobs. We will be here until we win.
But as long as this labor disruption lasts, no new mail will be processed or delivered, with few exceptions, meaning Canadians need to brace for delays. There's no sign Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu is ready to step in yet, saying today federal mediators remain available to support the bargaining process, and she is encouraging both parties to continue working towards a fair resolution. Yesterday, Ottawa announced it was ordering Canada Post to transition millions of addresses to community mailboxes, shutter some rural post offices, and extend delivery times for letter mail. Canada Post was getting ready to roll out these reforms, but says it's now preparing a new contract offer, while warning the strike will only worsen the Crown Corporation's dire financial situation.
We got to make the service more affordable because Canadians value it, but it's just becoming too expensive to them as taxpayers.
When these workers went on strike last year, it cost small businesses more than $1 billion, and they're now fearful of the impact that this labor disruption could have. Many of them are already treading water due to the trade war, and we're banking on the holiday shipping season to stay afloat. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Hundreds of striking Fanshawe College employees rallied today as talks resumed between union leaders and the College Employers Council. With more on those where negotiations stand, here's Brian Bicknell.
Cheapside Street outside Fanshawe College was lined with about 500 striking Fanshawe support staff and their supporters. They rallied as talks resumed between OPSU and the College Employers Council.
In the past year, we've lost thousands of support staff jobs across all colleges across Ontario, and Fanshawe has not been let out of that. We've definitely been affected by that as well. So it's just about job security, being those fair wages, those equitable living things that we're looking for. But that main thing is just that job security that we just want to know that we're appreciated and we're here to stay.
OPSU Local 109 represents close to 800 Fanshawe College employees. They're among 10,000 college support staff across the province who walked off the job September 11th. We reached out to the other side in all this, the College Employers Council, for comment, but because it is involved in mediated talks today, it is bound by a media blackout and unable to accommodate. The NDP's shadow minister for colleges and universities had no such restrictions.
Colleges across this province have had to use international student tuition to subsidize the programs that our communities need. This should be a government responsibility. We should have public investment in our public colleges because our communities rely on graduates.
Students, meantime, say the atmosphere in the school has changed with many services backed up.
A lot of the support staff is down, like the IT services have waits like in the 5 days when it was normally pretty instant. That's like the biggest thing I've noticed so far.
I definitely agree with Brady. Like everything's just delayed and not really anybody's in like their office and stuff like that. So everything's taking a long time.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Lambton OPP say they've laid almost 24 charges against commercial truck drivers during a recent blitz. Police say 16 large truck inspections were carried out on the 402 in Sarnia last week, catching drivers as they headed to the Blue Water Bridge. They say 3 were taken off the road. According to police, they found equipment malfunctions, moving violations, and false log entries. London police have released a photo of someone they say is a human trafficking suspect who may have assaulted several women. Police say this is 26-year-old Shakir Ramon Mendoza, and he's accused of forcing a woman he was in a relationship with into the sex trade, assaulting her numerous times. He's charged with several offenses, and investigators say there may be more potential victims. Toronto police say they've arrested a suspect here in London accused in the fatal shooting of an 8-year-old boy. The boy was killed by a stray bullet in Toronto back in August. He was in his apartment laying in bed with his mother. Yesterday, police say they executed a search warrant where they found one of 2 outstanding suspects. That suspect has been charged with first-degree murder. His name cannot be released because he was under 18 at the time of the shooting. Police had previously arrested a 16-year-old boy. They say they are still looking for a 3rd suspect, also a minor when the shooting occurred. To the manslaughter trial at the London courthouse, where the mother of a young boy who died was questioned about a bump the child received the night before going to his babysitter's house. Nick Paparella has more on today's testimony.
Roseanne Van de Wiel is the first witness to be called at the manslaughter trial, looking into how her 15-month-old son, Nathaniel McClellan, died. 7 days later, she remains on the stand answering questions surrounding the death of her young boy, who died from a head injury after being picked up from his babysitter's house in Strathroy. Van de Wiel has always maintained that on October 27th of 2015, she dropped off a healthy child. Under cross-examination from the defense, she was asked about Nathaniel being bumped by a metal door the night before he was taken to the babysitter's house. And she said, "I knew this was not what injured my son. I knew my son was fine when I dropped him off at Megan's. My son was healthy." Just hours after being taken to the home of 46-year-old Megan Van Hoof, Van de Wiel said she received an urgent call and has repeatedly said, "She told me he fell and hit his head." I know for certain that's what she said. The mother rushed to get her child and went to the emergency department, saying he was just hanging stiff. At the hospital, I thought he was dead. He was hardly breathing. He was lifeless. It was awful. After a lengthy police investigation, officers would eventually charge Van Hoof 6 years later in 2021. She has pled not guilty to a single charge of manslaughter. Before the day wrapped up, the defense suggested that Vanderweel opened the door that struck her child forcefully. She told the court, "I don't think I used a lot of force, but I don't remember." The trial and her testimony resume next week. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
City officials are considering a change to London's green bin program. A staff report is in the works for a pilot project allowing pet waste collection. With more on what that could mean for pet owners, here's Rita Ismail.
It's a proposal that could have a major impact on pet owners and London's composting system. The city is looking into the possibility of allowing pet waste to be included in the green bin program.
It does represent 5 to 10% of the weight that's going into our landfills, so it's a really important waste diversion activity for us. But of course, also residents have been saying, what do I do with my pet waste? You know, I don't want it to be in my garbage anymore.
The cost of the pilot project is undetermined at this time. However, if it were to be successful, city officials estimate up to $1 million added to the overall city budget on a yearly basis. That would cover costs associated with processing the pet waste at the facility and potential cost of extra bins.
Our bin capacity is 44 pounds. The pet waste tends to be quite heavy. So we need to look at things like, do we need another receptacle to collect the pet waste? Do we need to include kitty litter? Do we include just the feces? We really need to look at all those options.
For some pet owners, the idea is welcome, with some adjustments.
It's a pretty interesting concept, and it's nice to think that there's no more waste of plastic bags. We'd need a secondary bin. Not keep it in the kitchen.
Others say it could be a convenient way to clean up, especially after a long winter.
Poo being put in the recycling, I think it's great. You can just clean it up in the backyard, put it in your green bin, and away you go. No more buckets full of poo at the end of the winter. No more poo bags. It's great.
But not everyone is sold on the idea, especially when it comes to how compost from the green bin is used.
Too sure that people would be happy about that. I think people would be a little queasy about the level of content of dog waste in their compost.
City staff say the pilot project could begin as early as next spring if it's approved. But before then, they'll be looking at logistics, costs, and of course, what Londoners have to say. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
A message today from Londoners who have been through the addiction ringer, appealing to local leaders for more supports and resources. Sean Irvin has more on their stories told at the annual Addiction Recovery Fundraising Breakfast.
For those who lived with and are now recovering from addictions, sharing their stories on stage can be overwhelming. But with compassion and support, 3 men who walked through the depths of despair opened up to a crowd of 350 people. For Travis, the story begins with an affiliation with high-ranking members of a biker gang. Many fell victim to that life.
It was kind of an eye-opener, just knowing those are the people that I used to associate with.
Along the way to recovery, he has been helped by some of the agencies this breakfast supports.
I can't express the sheer gratitude of places like the RCC, Quentin Warner, Detox. The staff that are there is so phenomenal.
Yet Richard, also in recovery, stressed that funding for new and canceled addiction programs is needed. He spoke directly to federal and provincial politicians in the audience as he made his plea.
What are the costs of not doing anything? We're seeing it today. More and more, it's getting bigger and bigger.
And that's the worry as many in this room await the future Heart Hub Homeless and Addiction Recovery Center. Until it and other services come online, the men warn that relapse and struggle will be common amongst those in the depths of despair.
The thing with addiction and hitting rock bottom is this: you can always go lower, and I did.
Life is not easy.
but it is definitely 100% more tolerable today than when I was in my active addiction.
I think today we have heard words of hope, solution, connectedness. Those are the crucial pieces of why we do this breakfast.
Someone asked, can miracles be? May we always reply, take a look at me.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
The London Knights took on the Brampton Steelheads tonight at Canada Life Place. Early in the first, Knights on the power play. Jared Woolley waits, shoots, and buries it. Knights lead 1-0, but the Steelheads came back to tie it up in the third and soon after took the 1-goal lead. Knights lost 2-1, but will be back tomorrow to face off against the Erie Otters. Coming up, Canada and England's women's rugby teams meet again, making for one of the most anticipated matches in years.
5K a day is back on 97.5
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
Every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Canada's main stock index saw a slight gain today as those GDP numbers were a positive surprise. In Toronto, the TSX gained 29 points, while in New York, the Dow added 300 and the Nasdaq is up 99. The Canadian dollar dropped 0.07 cents, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $38 an ounce and oil added 74 cents a barrel. Israel's Prime Minister addressed the United Nations General Assembly this morning, calling Canada's recognition of a Palestinian state a disgraceful decision.
These are the people you want to give a state to? What you're doing is giving the ultimate reward to intolerant fanatics who perpetrated and supported the October 7th massacre. Giving the Palestinians a state 1 mile from Jerusalem after October 7th is like giving Al-Qaeda a state 1 mile from New York City after September 11th. This is sheer madness. It's insane, and we won't do it.
Benjamin Netanyahu claimed recognizing Palestinian state encourages terrorism against Jewish people. He also spoke about the hostages taken by Hamas and threats from Iran. Dozens of diplomats from various countries walked out during his speech. However, Canada's ambassador remains seated. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in the UK for a summit on boosting trade and economic ties. This meeting on the eve of a massive rugby game between Canada and England. Jeremy Sharon reports.
A fourth official face-to-face with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer for Mark Carney kicked off a visit to London.
Well, it's going to be a great match. Yep. And we're going to disagree. Agree to disagree.
Despite a friendly rivalry ahead of a big women's rugby match Saturday, the two leaders set their sights on shared defence priorities.
We've got Ukraine to discuss, we've got the Middle East to discuss, and thank you for the way we've been able to work together on both those issues. Great pleasure to be together again.
The Prime Minister also met with the leaders of Iceland, Spain, and Australia.
We are partners in commerce, we're partners in culture.
Actually, we actually have pretty similar economies.
Talks that all centered around building trade and economic partnerships, an area British Ambassador Ralph Goodale says Canada and the UK can still build on.
We've got $50 billion worth of trade flowing back and forth, and it is 99% tariff and quota-free.
Canada is looking to diversify its international partnerships in the face of Donald Trump's trade war. The U.S. president leveraged new tariffs Thursday on a wide range of imported goods, including heavy-duty trucks and pharmaceuticals. Still, Carney today shied away from directly taking aim at the U.S. president.
You face special circumstances in Canada, given your neighbor to the south, and let me just apologize.
Instead, he shared with a progressive crowd at this summit how he won the April election.
So it's not engaging on the turf of the more negative agenda, but focusing on the positive.
All of it capped off with a dinner at 10 Downing Street, FaceTime with like-minded world leaders, the real focus of this trip, according to senior government officials. The Prime Minister will meet tomorrow with business leaders and investors before taking his Canadian pride to a London rugby pitch. Carney is set to attend the Women's Rugby World Cup to cheer on Canada against England in the final. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, London.
Tomorrow's meeting between Canada and England is a rematch of the 2014 final. Canada lost their only previous appearance in the final. John Venavali-Rao has more on the historic significance if they come up with a win tomorrow.
For fans of women's rugby, tomorrow's match is one of the most anticipated in years.
Canada are exceptionally good. It's going to be a really good match.
So it's difficult to say which way it's going to go. Obviously, we wish that it goes our way.
This, the moment a week ago when the Canadian women advanced to the final, besting the defending champs, New Zealand, and now set to play England's Red Roses.
This is what we've been building for 3 years to do, and the fact that we're in this week and this is the game that we're in is just unbelievable, and it's just kind of a surreal feeling.
For the Canadians, this is only their second trip ever to the World Cup finals, and Saturday's contest will be tough. The Red Roses is made up of mostly pros with a budget 10 times bigger than that of the Canadians, and they've won a staggering 32 games in a row.
They have an aura about them. Our goal is to burst it, basically.
The Canadian team are themselves unbeaten this year and will play Saturday's game in Twickenham, England, at the stadium in front of a sellout crowd of 82,000, the largest ever for a women's rugby game.
This is a jam-packed stadium and the biggest stadium in England. I think it's very exciting for women's rugby in general.
They're going to kick some ass on Saturday.
Rob Baker, the tragically hip, praising the team, with the band selling special jerseys to support them. On social media, fan Shania Twain was asked if the team's last win impressed her much. She wrote back, "Oh, you know it did."
Red Roses.
And Prime Minister Carney meeting with his UK counterpart today, exchanging jerseys. For those who play the game, all of the attention's been great.
I think that we're changing the way people see Canadian rugby on the global scale.
And if the team can take the trophy, it'll truly be a moment for the nation to treasure. John Venavali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Good evening. We have a bit of fog developing overnight and first thing in the morning, but not quite as dense as it was early today. And it'll mix out a bit quicker and not as much low-level moisture to work with. Clear conditions as we head toward tomorrow morning after some cloud cover overnight. 14 degrees with sunshine heading out the door. Thanks, Amanda, for this photo of Ahsoka. If you are heading out for a walk this morning, you have a beautiful fresh start to the day. Gorgeous conditions. A flashback to summer in the extended forecast. Stay with us. I'll have your weekend weather coming up.
Julie Atchison joins me on the desk now. Julie, it was a gorgeous day today, and we have a beautiful weekend coming up, right?
Yeah, we really do. It's a flashback to summer-like conditions. We're going to hold on to some beautiful weather. This time of year, everyone likes to get outside, Lauren, and enjoy outdoor fall fun. So it's not going to feel fall-like, but you can still have the fall fun. Temperature-wise, today we hit 24 degrees, well above normal for this time of year. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow. It'll feel close to 30 in the afternoon. Now, last night and early this morning, we did develop a fairly dense blanket of fog over the region, and it took a while to mix out as we head through the overnight. 13 degrees and once again some fog, but not quite as dense. We don't have as much low-level moisture to work with. We had about rain for about 4 days, and so, of course, lots of moisture to tap into for that fog. Now, as we head into tomorrow morning, today was dry, so that means that tomorrow not as much fog around. In terms of our overnight low temperature in London, 13 degrees. As we head to Wyerton at 12 and along the lakeshore of Huron, 14 to 15 degrees. We had a weak cold front that drifted through, and that did bring a bit of cloud cover into parts of Midwestern Ontario late this afternoon, but it really turned out to be an absolutely beautiful day. High pressure building into the upper atmosphere as well as the surface, and what that promotes is stability. High pressure means sinking air. Now, the only little fly in the ointment tomorrow will be a low pressure area that's moving through the Virginias and Carolinas along the eastern seaboard, and that will kick up a bit of cloud cover. Through the afternoon, the winds will be light out of the southwest, but you can see that cloud coming in. So really, in terms of anything approaching our region, we have no showers in our forecast. Things will be nice and quiet. Over the next 7 days, we have a really nice summer extension and sunshine as we put those days back to back. So sunshine with light winds to a mix of sun and cloud. Winds out of the southwest 20 kilometers per hour in the afternoon, with a forecast high coming in at 26 in London. A bit cooler towards Goddard to Mount Forest from 22 to 24 degrees, but still well above normal for this time of year. Daytime highs this weekend will average anywhere from about 6 to 7 degrees above where we typically are, 6, 7. All right, sunshine, mainly sunny on Sunday and 26 as we head into Monday, mainly sunny and 25. 26 on Tuesday with sunshine. Sunshine Wednesday, Thursday, and mainly sunny on Friday. Overnight lows dipping into the single digits. So this time of year, when we see those overnight lows drop off, getting quite cool, sunshine still powerful enough and the sun angles to put our temperatures into the mid-20s. So that's gorgeous, beautiful conditions across the region. Daytime highs through here on Perth, Grey Bruce tomorrow, anywhere from 22 degrees in Grey Bruce to 25 to 26 in here on Perth, 25 on Sunday, and sunshine will carry us right through the extended forecast. We'll put those days Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Daytime highs dip a bit Wednesday. That's when we usher in October, so we'll have a weak cold front come through, but it doesn't do a whole lot in terms of bring us any active weather. I think we'll see some cloud cover associated with it as we head into Tuesday night, but by Wednesday, a bit cooler, so enjoying some gorgeous October weather, some sunshine on the way, and mainly sunny on a Friday. Enjoy the summer-like weekend across southern Ontario. Lauren, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. Winnipeg police made an unusual rescue after they found something tangled in the protective netting near their station.
In my 32 years as a police officer, I've never had this experience before, and we take a lot of training for a lot of different scenarios. I don't ever recall us taking training on how to dislodge a gray-horned owl from a fish net.
The owl was caught in a net meant to protect the station from golf balls from a nearby course. With the help of local wildlife experts, police were able to untangle the owl and release it back into the wild. Alberta is officially home to the world's tallest living steer.
His size coupled with his personality, and it's something to really admire.
At 6'5" and over 2,000 pounds, the cow named Beef is the new Guinness World Record holder, and he keeps growing, on track to potentially break another record for the tallest steer ever recorded of 6'8". That's our time tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Lauren Stallone. We'll see you next time. Good night.